Real Talk with Tamara. Today's guest really does not need any introduction at all. She's always out in the community helping people. I mean, no matter what, people are always calling on her to be a voice for them, whether they are Democrat or Republican.
Or Tea Party people.
Or Tea Party people. Thanks for being here, Council Lady Janis Fullilove. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you.
So tell me, how long have you been a radio personality?
Well, it started back in 1967 when I was a student at the Booker T. Washington High School of Leadership Excellence. And then I started as a teenage reporter for WDIA. And of course, when I graduated, I had 2 full scholarships, one at Tennessee State University and one at Fisk University. But because Dr. King had such an impact upon my life, I decided I was going to go to Memphis State University because there was so much discrimination and prejudice going on that I wanted to change things because he had changed my life. And so when I had attended Memphis State, I ended up on the radio there. And from there it went from WRAC to WMPS to WHBQ to WDIA in Memphis. Yes.
Okay. So now you're on the city council.
Yes.
Now, while serving on the city council, are you faced with a lot of challenges?
Of course I'm faced with challenges. Actually, we're dealing with a budget right now, and we have a chairman that wants to cut everything from police services to fire services to what goes on within the community to, he doesn't say he want to do anything with property taxes, but I know that's a lie because I know the mayor wants to increase property taxes, wants to reduce the pension as far as city workers.
Reduce the pension.
Not increase, reduce. So there are so many challenges right there in the council.
Why is it that you think the mayor is constantly after, it seems to a lot of people, after the police department? He doesn't, a lot of people, especially a lot of policemen that I talk to, and as I said before, I have a lot of policemen that are my friends. And they feel like that the mayor does not care anything about the police department.
Well, you know, I'm not inside his heart. But I know what happens on the outside, and I think the mayor is more for big business, all right, than he is for the average worker. Because we have so many police officers and firefighters that are leaving here in droves because what was promised to them, you know, is not being kept by this administration. And I am an advocate, a strong advocate for our fire and our police and even our city workers. And so I'm going to do what I can do to maintain that because, you know, safety is the #1 concern of any resident. I don't care where you go. I mean, I have been all across this country and people are concerned about safety. And Mayor Warden acts as if he's not concerned about anything but about what these quote-unquote millionaires in the city tell him to do, like Fred Smith and some of these other people. And, you know, the safety of the citizens of Memphis is not his concern.
Absolutely. Because like I said, the morale with the police department has dropped a whole lot.
Of course it has.
Although they have nothing but great things to say about the police director. You know, as a matter of fact, they are a lot of officers seem to be extremely upset with how the police director is treated. You know, because what I hear them say is with the last police director, he was They were treated cruelly.
He was a thug. The last police director was a doggone thug. That's what he was. He was a thug, and I'll say it to his face, and he knows he was a thug, because when Director Armstrong was appointed to that position, I called for an audit. Because I wanted that director not to come in here with any kind of salacious information about him, but I wanted him to come into that department knowing exactly what was going on. Honey, they had bullets lost. They had guns lost. They had money lost. They had everything lost. And who said anything about it? Nobody. The mayor didn't say anything about it. He was acting like he was so shocked. But you know, Director Godwin was nothing but a thug, still is a thug, and he's a thug in Nashville, and he needs to have his ass kicked out of here.
Okay, because a lot of people would say that crime was just as high when he was, you know, in office, but there was a way of hiding it. And when Director Armstrong came in, it you know, he really didn't hide it. And so it kind of made him look bad, as if he wasn't doing his job.
Now I'm going to tell you something. Tony, when he was on the first 48, everybody remembers Tony from the first 48, and especially what happened with all of those murders and the attempted murders of those children. And people had so much respect for Director Armstrong, for Tony at that time when he was on the first 48. And it's my belief, and nobody else's, this is just me.
Okay.
I believe that Mayor Wharton his intentions were honorable at the time to appoint Director Armstrong. But then how can you have honorable intentions and then you want to sit up and you want to micromanage everything that goes on? Let the man be what he was. And he was a police director. He was tough, you know, but Warden came in here with his little shaking head and slipping his feet and doing all of this bull and everything, and he tried to hold the director. Actually, he tried to handcuff him to do what he wanted him to do. And that, of course, puts stress on people, because if somebody tried to do that to me, and I've been in that, you know, situation, and it creates so much stress. And that's what happened with Director Armstrong. It created a lot of stress with him. He ended up having pneumonia twice until he decided to get his balls back. And he got his balls back, and he's the man. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something, Tony. I said, I'm just like your mama. Don't you never accept anything anybody tries to put on you that you've never done. Don't you ever do that. And Mayor Warden tried to throw him under the bus so many doggone times that I got so many calls, Tamara, from police officers day after day after day. Why is the mayor doing this? You know,
Yeah, I think, you know, it was obvious with a lot of the community. They would say, oh my God, you know, the way that, you know, the mayor threw him under the bus, it just seems as if the mayor does not care anything about the police director at all. We know he doesn't care anything about the police department, you know, that's what they were saying, but it seems as if he's doing a lot of things to the police officers because he doesn't like the police director. Okay, so let me ask you this. Being in the spotlight, how has it been being in the spotlight? You know, because you've seen things in the media about you in the past, and although your popularity is still up here, the media has always tried to portray you in a negative light. And a lot of people would say that is because you speak your mind, you speak the truth, and you don't try to sugarcoat anything.
Well, to be very honest, I brought a lot of things on myself. And I accept full responsibility for that. And the media did its job. They reported those things that I was guilty of. And,
Okay.
and I have apologized to my constituents, and, I worked very hard for it. But then at the same time, oftentimes the media, despite those things that you have done, they want to sit up and put a spin on everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not allow them to do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've admitted so many times that I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only human. The Bible says, man born of woman, days are few and full of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had my troubles.
Right.
I've had my troubles.
As we all have.
But at the same time, I come back and I want to show those people that elected me that you didn't make a mistake.
Right.
That, yeah, I'm just as vulnerable as you are.
Absolutely.
I have difficulty paying my utility bills, difficulty paying my taxes. I have difficulty paying my house note.
Mm-hmm.
I have difficulties a lot of with my husband. Because I sit up and threw all my plates on the floor because I didn't want to be on snapped. Because I didn't want to kill him, even though I felt like killing him. But I wouldn't do it. So, I have my challenges and I deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I know you say you've had your challenges,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems that the people, like I said, they still really, really do love you. And when there are challenges in the community, they definitely call on you.
Yeah.
And I was looking at you on another show probably a little while ago, and you kind of was having a problem with one of your coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wanted to smack the yellow off of him.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, what happened was, number one, I don't think that any young person should disrespect an elder.
Okay.
Okay? That's my number one. You can say whatever you want to say,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't go around and disrespect somebody that's old enough to be your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Edmund Ford Jr. had done.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to smack the yellow off of his butt. I really did. I called him a punk about 7 times, and he's still a punk.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't do that. His mother is the sweetest person
Mm-hmm.
that I have ever met in my life. But for him to sit up and denigrate and debase
Mm-hmm.
Councilman Joe Brown
Mm-hmm.
to the point that Joe had to contain himself, I thought was unconscionable.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'll call him a punk to his face. I'll call you a punk right now because you're a little punk. Because you know what? You don't know how to respect people. And I'm going to tell you something. You don't know how to respect your constituents. And you should. There was one gentleman that had come in from Westwood, and he was talking to him about an issue. And he touched him like this. Don't put your hands on me. Don't you touch me. And I'm looking at him like, what is wrong with you? These people elected you. So that's why I did what I did. I'm not crazy, even though I act like I am sometimes.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Call United Bonding Company at 577-1138. United Bonding Company is ready to serve you 24 hours a day with prompt, discreet, honest service. Our office is conveniently located across the street from the Criminal Justice Center at 201 Poplar Avenue. We write bail bonds in all the Shelby County courts, including juvenile court. All major credit cards are accepted. Call United Bonding Company at 577-1138 today.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a nice day. United Bonding Company, where good service with honesty and integrity comes naturally. United Bonding Company.
Real Talk with me, Tamara, have more days and new times. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and again on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You don't want to miss this show. We will be talking about the community, politics, crime, education, and everything else of concern to the community. So tune in to Real Talk with Tamara on TPN, Tamara's Production Network. Welcome back to Real Talk with Tamara. I've been talking with Councilwoman Janis Fullilove.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that there have been a lot of people, because, you know, when people are elected, they say before they are elected, they say they stand for one thing.
Let me tell you something. When people are out on the campaign trail, they sit up and promise, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a turkey on every table. I'm going to bring jobs into the city. That's a lie. You know, I have never promised anybody that I would do anything except do my best.
Right.
Because we are only one vote. One vote. I don't care how many resolutions I bring to the table, how many ordinances I bring to the table, whatever my good intentions are. I don't care how much I fight, how much people hear my voice. I'm only one vote. And so if you sit up and hear a candidate talking about, I promise you, I'm going to change the school system. I promise you, don't vote for that person because they're telling a lie. Now go ahead with your question.
Okay. I was going to say, you know, as you said, when they're on the campaign trail, they make a lot of promises and they say that they stand for one thing. But once they're elected into office, they seem to vote contrary to that. And it leaves the people wondering, you know, maybe these people have been bought, you know. So what do you think about that? Do you think that necessarily to be true? Do you think anything like that can necessarily happen?
Well, of course, everything can happen. You know, everything can happen. I've never been bought.
Okay.
Nobody's ever come to me and tried to buy me.
Okay.
Not if they did, I would go along with it. But yeah, I believe there are some people on the council that have some special interests.
Okay, special
and
interests.
yeah, I'll put it like that, that have special interest and they fight very hard for them. Me, on the other hand, you know, I just fight for the common people. You know, I'm broke, always broke, can't pay my utility bill, can't pay my house note, can't pay anything. I'm broke, but it doesn't matter because my fulfillment is that I'm working for the common person. We have people on that council. I'm even talk about red light cameras. I don't like red light cameras. But we have somebody on that council that pushes for those red light cameras. Some people have said to me undercover, do you think that person is getting paid? I don't know. We have a person that's a millionaire on that council that recuses himself every time some project comes up that he has an association with. Does anybody look into that? No, nobody looks into that. So there are people on that council that are benefiting from that council. Do I benefit from it? Yes, I do. I benefit from the fact that I can help Mary Jones that lives on Laclede Avenue, who has a difficulty getting her garbage picked up, or Mary Andrews, who lives somewhere in Whitehaven, who has a pothole in front of her home, or from John Jones, who lives on Hubert Circle, that can't get any kind of thing fixed in his neighborhood. I benefit from that. I get no gratification or no monetary gratification from anybody, but there are people on that council that do, and if they say they don't, they'll lie.
Okay. And with crime going up and taxes constantly going up, do you think that the mayor of this city can redeem himself in any way? What can he do? What can he do to make this city better that he's not doing?
I think he can say, look, I resign and I'm going on and do my law degree, practice. That's what he can do.
Okay. You feel it's that bad? It's that bad? Okay.
Yeah. You asked me a question. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you answered it,
Yeah.
and you were very honest. So let me ask you something. Do you plan to run for any other office? Because, I mean, you do a good job where you are, and the people love you.
Well, I wouldn't say the people love me. There are people that do support me, and there are those that don't. But my concern right now is not about tomorrow. My concern is today. What I can do today to make this city better. I'm not looking forward to what I can do tomorrow. Tomorrow will bring tomorrow. But right now is the only thing I'm concerned about.
Okay. So let me ask you something. What do you think about labor unions?
Oh, honey, please, baby. I'm a union baby. What if unions bleed or blue or green or whatever, I bleed the same thing. I have always been very supportive of unions because unions have been very good to me. Even when I lived in Chicago, I belonged to AFTRA, and they were very good to me. When I lived here, I belonged to IBEW when I was working at WDIA, and I believe that every employee should be involved or should have union representatives. You know, I passed my Kellogg's when I came here today, and I stopped there and I blew at them. I've stood out there with them. I support them wholeheartedly. I support IBEW 100% because I believe Jerry Collins needs to go. He needs to be gone, you know, and the union there is so strong. So when I was in Las Vegas some years ago, when I had money to go, I don't have no money to go nowhere now. I can't even go down to Tunica. But when I had money, I went to visit my brother and my aunt, and there was a strike of employees at the casinos there. And I love going to the casinos, but I would not cross that picket line because those were union employees. I respect them just that much, and I didn't do it.
Okay, and you brought up IBEW, that's MLG&W.
Yes.
Union. You were also chairperson at
I
one
was,
time.
and they kicked me off because I didn't kiss Jerry Collins behind, okay? I didn't go along with things that Jerry Collins and Christopher Bieber were going along with because, you know, many of the employees that I had spoken with didn't feel like they were being treated fairly. And I didn't think that they were being treated fairly either. And I didn't think that the customers were being treated fairly. In fact, today I got a call from an elderly gentleman. He said, look, I've been calling you and calling you. They're trying to put this smart meter on my home. I said, sir, did you opt out? Did you? He said, yes, ma'am, I did. But they sent me a letter. They put one on my home anyway. I said, no, you call them. And if they do, you call me. Because I'll make such a stink. You know, and I don't know who's paying Jerry Collins or who's paying Christopher Bieber or whatever for these damn smart meters. Excuse me for my language. But if people don't want them, don't put them on their homes. They don't have to have them on their homes. They don't. But somebody's getting paid, and it's not me. And I wouldn't even accept a payment because of what the people don't want. You give the people what they want based on the information that certainly has been given to them. And, you know, I think Miss Donna Bohannon, I mean, this woman she's a Republican, and she's part of the Tea Party.
Yeah.
And Kemp Conrad teases me all the time. Oh, yeah, the Tea Party loves you. I said, well, you were the chairman of the Republican Party at one time. Why don't they love you? You know, so it's not about partisan politics, not at all. It's about doing what's right for the people.
It's about doing what's right, yeah. Because one thing about the smart meters, a lot of people, they do not tell them that they can opt out.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And like I said, I've had so many people, Tamara, that have called me. And one woman was so hysterical. I said, she was an elder. I said, please, ma'am, calm down. Just calm down. No, I don't want it on my house. I said, look, you don't have to have it. You don't. She said, I told him I was going to call the police, and the guy told me, well, call the police. I said, if they put it on your house, call me. Call me. And I'll get there, doggone it, and I'll make sure they take it off. And I mean that with all of my heart.
Because Miss Bohanna was on my show.
Oh, was she?
And yes, she was. And she was, I mean, she's fighting it head on.
Yeah, I love her.
One of the
she's
things
such
that
a
she
wonderful
was talking
woman.
about is they make it very hard for you to call. And once they find out that you don't have to have that on the smart meter, they make it very hard to opt out once it's already on your house. Yeah, so she's, fighting it head on. She really is.
I'm trying to figure out why I got $1,000 utility bill. All through the whole winter, we had no heat. We used our fireplace. But I have $1,000 utility bill. I don't know if that's by design. I'm not saying that. But, I know a lot of people have called me about their bills, and then there have been excuses as to why the bills have been so high. Well, if we sitting up here burning wood, in our fireplace, how is it making my utility bill go as high as it is, in which it was higher than that during the winter, and we keep paying it down, and then and so many other people are doing the same thing. So, I don't, since I'm no longer chairperson of Light, Gas, and Water, I can't call for anything because Myron Lowry acts like he's just so in love with Jerry Collins for what, I don't know. Something going on.
And that is a complaint of the people,
Yeah.
They want to know why is it that, and if they don't burn a lot of electricity,
of course.
What can be done about that?
Well, I'm going to tell you what can be done. People can sit up and you can call that utility company and say, look, come out and read my meter and let me see what that meter says. If that doesn't work, I believe that you can call whoever your council person is. If that doesn't work, call IBEW and get somebody from there to come out, and because they have so many people that could come out and look at a situation. My daughter, Janine Gordon, the traffic tracker on Channel 5, she's never at home. She leaves home at 4 o'clock in the morning. She comes back home at noon. She leaves at 3 o'clock, goes to her job, comes back home at 11 o'clock at night, and she has an $1,200 utility bill and is never at home. Now, how you explain that to me?
That's okay. Yeah,
I know you can't.
It's very unexplainable.
Exactly.
It's very unexplainable.
Yeah.
Being the most vocal person on the city council, do you find yourself standing alone a lot? Do you think, since you're
Of course I do.
vocal
Yeah,
person?
of course I do. Of course I do. I stand alone quite often. Even people that I think that should support me, but all great minds don't think alike. So, I'm not upset about that. But on many issues, I stand alone, but it doesn't matter, because I'm still going to stand. And I'm going to continue to fight, for those things that I think are right. I'm going to do that. And so it doesn't matter about me. I came into the world alone.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to leave here by myself, too.
That's true.
So.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
Call United Bonding Company at 577-1138. United Bonding Company is ready to serve you 24 hours a day with prompt, discreet, honest service. Our office is conveniently located across the street from the Criminal Justice Center at 201 Poplar Avenue. We write bail bonds in all the Shelby County courts, including juvenile court. All major credit cards are accepted. Call United Bonding Company at 577-1138 today.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a nice day. United Bonding Company, where good service with honesty and integrity comes naturally. United Bonding Company.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Tamara. I've been sitting here talking with Councilwoman Fullilove. We left off, we was talking about MLG&W. Tell me, what do you think about Mayor Ward and reappointing Jerry Collins?
Well, I really had hoped that there were some other appointments other than Jerry Collins. I don't trust Jerry Collins, never have trust Jerry Collins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jerry Collins has the best interest of either the consumer or the employees. Joseph Lee, I thought was a great, now that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a great individual, was set up for failure. I thought that our current city attorney was a very good appointee. And I had even spoken to him about the possibility of whether or not he would be reappointed. He wanted that job and was not given, and Mayor Wharton is going to tell me something about, well, Jerry Collins is I can't think what he said to me, but it was like he was something that was so special that nobody else was that special. Hell, this man was over public works. Was that what it is? Like he's a scientific engineer, or he's this and he's that, and I don't know why he did it, unless there's something that, and I'm not saying sinister, but I'm saying that there maybe have been something that they had made a deal between the two of them. I don't know, because I think he's horrible. I wish you would go, Jerry Collins. You and Christopher Bieber.
Because, there's a lot of talk about how cruel he can, well, I don't know if I want to use the word.
I'm going to tell you
cruel.
something. I would sit up here and talk to this white man, and I'd say stuff to him, and he would turn red as a damn beet. I'm going to tell you. I would say stuff to him. I would challenge him on things. He would turn so red, it made me itch. I started scratching, just like I'm doing right now, because I knew anytime anybody, he wanted to call me out of my name so bad, and I said, I dare you, do it. Do it. But then he has black people working around him that's sucking up to his white behind, and they don't mean any good for the people either. They just sit up there getting a doggone paycheck. And I'm not saying everybody should work. Hell, I want to make a great paycheck. I don't. But at the same time, I'm not going to prostitute myself like some people at MLG and W are doing. They're prostituting themselves, kissing somebody's white butt to keep their job. But, I would never do that kind of thing. Because my concern is certainly for the people. It is. It really is.
Yeah, because like I said, I've heard he's cruel to a lot of the workers.
Right, he is. He doesn't like black people. I'm just like Kanye West. He does not like black people. Now, write that down.
So do you think the Board of Commissioners are doing a good job?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Dedrick Britnam and Lynn, what's Lynn's last name? Anyway, Lynn Evans were the two best commissioners there, because they fought really hard for individuals on that board. In the city. They did everything that they could do. Paul Masson. No, that's not Paul Masson. That's a wine. Hell, I'm thinking about some wine up in here. No, Rick Masson. Are you related to Paul? Maybe so. But no, Rick Masson. And some of the other commissioners. I don't think that really that they have the best interest, for the customers. I sat up and read. I went to a meeting several times when I was the chairman, and I looked at what the mantra of Light, Gas, and Water was about trusting people and doing everything best for people. And I said, you all are not doing this. So, why are you sitting up here telling this lie to individuals? So, he's probably, if he becomes elected again, which I hope you don't, Mayor Warden, will appoint him again. So he won't have my vote.
And you mentioned something very interesting. You said that when you spoke with Mayor Warden about him, he made it seem like he was something so
He said
special.
something to me. It wasn't like an astronomer or I can't remember what he told me, but it was like he was this person that nobody else is, like an astronaut, or like something he said to me. Oh, he's this, and I'm like, well, hell, I just thought he worked in public works, So.
And I think that's the issue that a lot of the city employees have. Mayor Warden, to them, they say it's the worst that it has ever been, but he has this, nonchalant attitude. Even when they talked about the police and they asked him what did he think about the other agencies from other states coming in and recruiting his officers, because we pay a lot to have our officers.
Of course you do.
trained.
In fact, we talked the other day when we were in budget hearings that Chairman Strickland wanted to take, or was it Shea Flynn, one of them, wanted to take $11 million to put in the ARC and leave $5 million for a potential class. And I asked the CAO, George Little, I say, how much does it cost for us to have one police class? And they said $5 million approximately. And I said, well, if it costs more than that, what do we do? Well, we go back into that ARC pension and we take that money back. And so, what he's doing, I have lieutenants calling me, majors calling me, captains calling me. He wants to do away with
The
drop plan, but that's Jim Strickland, and Jim Strickland is talking about let's do the drop for 1 year for police and for fire, and then for the other employees we just eliminate that altogether. And the mayor is proposing let's do away with their benefits, their overtime pay, their going to school pay, all of that, vacation pay. Let's do away with all of that. You do away with all of that. You are showing your employees you don't care anything about them. I know it's nail-biting time. I know that all of us have to bite the nail because you don't want to continue to put the burden on the backs of the taxpayers. But why wouldn't Mayor Wharton do as I have asked him to do? What Boston's mayor has done, what other cities have done. You've given all of these pilots to these individuals, companies, making millions, sometimes billions of dollars. You haven't asked them for anything. 2-3% of their profits would not be on the backs of the taxpayers. Why won't you do something to stop people coming in here from Mississippi and Arkansas and Missouri? They don't pay anything, but they come in here and they make a paycheck and then they go right back into their respective communities. Don't we have enough minds, intelligent minds, Alan Wade, our city attorney, our council attorney, don't we have enough intelligent minds that we can come up with something? Something. But no, Mayor Wharton is so afraid of Fred Smith. He running around with his tail tucked in his little behind, but he doesn't want to do anything that Fred Smith doesn't want to do. Well, I'm not afraid of Fred Smith, because he doesn't do a damn thing for me or my family.
And what was very interesting to a lot of people in the city, that when the first 48 was here, they made millions.
Of course.
Memphis didn't get a dime.
I know.
I mean, that was...
Wasn't that stupid?
Oh my goodness. I mean, a lot of the people here in Memphis, they were just completely surprised that there was nothing worked out, whereas Memphis could have gotten something because, I mean, the first 48, A&E, they made a lot of money off of the city of Memphis during the first 48 hours. Real Talk with me, Tamara, have more days and new times. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and again on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You don't want to miss this show. We will be talking about the community, politics, crime, education, and everything else of concern to the community. So tune in to Real Talk with Tamara on TPN, Tamara's Production Network. Welcome back to Real Talk with Tamara. I've been talking with Councilwoman Fullilove. Tell me, what do you think the community thinks of this administration?
Well, from what I've been hearing, they're very disappointed in Mayor Wharton because they don't think that he's doing anything for the African American community. And many people have said, you know, I supported him, I voted for him, but never again will I ever vote for him again. And I know that's an emotional kind of response that people have. But even though I've said the same thing, well, I never voted for him the first or second time. Never. Never, ever. But, you know, I try to, as a council person, put my feelings aside and listen to really what he is proposing. I don't agree with none of them. None. Because I don't think that he's working in behalf of the people. Now, that's just me. Okay? That's me.
You know, with crime constantly going up and, you know, I work with battered women and children. You know, that's like one of my passions.
I've been a battered woman too.
Why isn't this administration implementing more
Because they don't
programs?
give a doggone, okay? They don't give a care. What the mayor has said that he's found $1.3 million, I think, or 1.5, or whatever. I'm going to, during this budget hearing, propose that at least $500,000 goes toward the YWCA for a new facility for women of domestic violence and their children.
Okay.
I'm going to propose that. But let me say something. I want to know, how can this administration find money? They can find money to do whatever they want to do. Southbrook Mall, a block project. What happened to that? They tossed that to the side.
Yeah.
But they got a $20-some million project for the Raleigh Springs Mall. And let me tell you something, people in Raleigh. I don't have anything against you. My only concern is that why would you take precedence over Southbrook Mall that only asked for $1.5 million to repair a roof, to have an HVAC repaired, but you all can get $23 million. Something is wrong. Pinnacle Airlines asked for all of this money. And what did these white folk do? You know what they did? They filed bankruptcy. And then they left us holding the bag. We have so many other projects. Electrolux. I don't know what Electrolux is doing. I thought that Electrolux was going to hire many people here from Memphis. Are they doing that? I don't think so. You know, and that's my concern. I want people in Memphis on Memphis projects to work for Memphis. At some years ago, when that thug, Director Godwin, was in office, they couldn't find anybody in the city of Memphis to go through the academy. And so I did that. I agreed upon it. I said, okay, we can't agree upon it. I mean, we can't find anybody according to you. Then I agreed that, okay, for a year, we would look at people outside of Shelby County. Mm-hmm. Only for a year. You would have to move inside the city. But, you know, to say that people are so stupid and so ignorant and so criminal in the city of Memphis, I don't go along with that, not at all. And I apologize to the citizens of Memphis. I really do. I really do. I did what I thought was best at the time based upon the information that I was given by a thug, and that's Director Godwin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have the upcoming elections.
I'm going to tell you something. These elections coming up, you don't know anything about none of these people. All of them sitting up here talking about what they going to promise they going to do to you. They can't do a doggone thing because they're only one vote. Let me tell you something. I don't care what their commercials sound like. I don't care what they're promising you they're going to do. They can't do nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. They're only one vote. One vote. And you as a voter should get to know who these people are. I don't care who sends you ballots. I don't care what commercials you hear. Don't believe them unless you know them. You know me. I will tell you the truth, even if it means to the detriment of me. Because I don't want anything from you except to make this city a better city for you. Don't trust none of them. None of them. You hear me? None of them.
Okay, because I was going to say Judge Joe Brown seems to have put a lot of...
Even Judge Joe Brown, let me tell you something. Judge Joe Brown, and I like Judge Joe Brown. I believe he would be a great district attorney. I do. I believe that. But he has to prove himself to you too. Don't just look at him because, oh, he's been on national television. Why did he get kicked off? Ask yourself that question. Find out about him. Just like I would ask you to find out about me. Now, what else?
Well, I was going to say, since Judge Joe Brown has, he's running, he seems to have put have made the people excited,
Really? I haven't found anybody excited.
He seems to have put a lot of, I guess energy in the race,
Where do you find that? I haven't found any energy. Initially, people were very excited. Right now, they're like, it's like a nail in a wall.
It's like a nail in a wall.
And
why do you say that?
Because I don't see any excitement. I don't see anything that Judge Joe Brown is saying that's going to turn anything around. Amy Wyrick, I am not in favor of. Because that woman tried to put me in jail because I threw my plates on my doggone floor.
Okay.
But what I'm saying to Judge Joe Brown is, I know your election comes up in August. Generate some excitement, sweetie. Generate it. Tell people what you want to happen. Not what you say you're going to do, but what you want to happen. And generate that excitement. Get people up in arms about all of the black people, the black men that are being arrested. Because that's all Amy Wyrick is doing. That heifer wanted to put me in jail.
And that was my next question. Why do you think there's so many, because I work downtown, so many black men in jail when we know that blacks aren't the only ones.
Yeah, I
committing
know.
crime.
Yeah. You know, because I'm gonna tell you something. We have a 30% poverty rate right here in Memphis in Shelby County. A 30% poverty rate, and you have black men doing the only thing that they think that they can do, and that's sell drugs. And then you got white folk from Germantown, from Bartlett, from Cordova, coming to South Memphis, coming to North Memphis, buying drugs for them. And you would never find a group of white men in Germantown, in Bartlett, in Arlington, standing on a corner selling anything. You would never find a crack house that people in those areas would stand for. But as far as black people, we believe like that's the norm. Okay, that's the norm. We do that. And as black people, call me 576-6786. If you've got a crack house in your area and you want to get rid of it, if you see young black men standing on the corner selling drugs, call me. I'll do something about it.
So you're saying it's going to take us
It's going to take us
to take our neighborhoods back.
to
clean
take
our
them
neighborhoods
back. Director Armstrong has already told me, say, Janis, if people would let us know, white folk not going to put up with that. Why are we putting up with that? You know, Chickasaw Gardens would never put up with that. East Memphis Popular Corridor would never put up with that. Why are we putting up with that? Why? And I'm asking you, why?
You're right. Why? You know, how did you feel when the Department of Justice came in and found that the African American children were being treated unjustly?
How did I feel? I said, why not? I mean, it was about time. Because it has been going on so long. You know, and it is just so heartbreaking that we would label our black children, those that got in trouble. Everybody gets in trouble. But to label them as our juvenile court system has done. Henry Brooks, I hope you get elected. Honey, because I know you're going to make some changes. Tarek Sugarman, I hope you get elected. Because those doggone white folk down there don't give a damn about our black children. They don't. You know, you sit up and hear about these children in Germantown getting diversion. Why don't our children get diversion? You know why? Because these white folk don't give a damn about them. That's why. That's why they're building all of these private prisons. Because they know that once they're in the system, the next step is they go into prison. And you should know that.
Because even though I work downtown, I also, on my own free time, I go over to Jail East and I do a class on domestic violence. I speak with the juveniles about domestic violence. And when I speak with them one-on-one, one thing that I found is our youth, they're so lost. And it's because of hurt. You know, growing up in a home and seeing their mom beat, growing up in a home without a father, it's like our kids are lost and they don't have any programs as I had when I was growing up. You know, we had summer programs. I had a summer job. They don't have summer programs. They don't have fathers in the home. Mom is having them young, and so she doesn't really know the structure of a family because she didn't have a family. And so what I find with our juveniles is they're hurting, and we don't have people in a leadership position that's willing to really work with them one-on-one.
Let me tell you something.
Anymore.
You have people like myself. I was abused sexually as a child. And I tried to tell my mother about it. And my mother slapped me and told me I was lying about her friend. And I had to internalize all of that. And so you grow up And because of that hurt, because of that pain, you try to medicate yourself with either alcohol or drugs or whatever, you know. And there's so many people out there like me that have done that and that didn't have what you had, you know. And so many children right now
Do we need to take a break? Hi, my name is Tamara. As you know, I'm the host of Real Talk with Tamara. And starting in May, Real Talk has more days and new times. So if you have a business and you want exposure for your business, give us a call. If you have any show ideas and you want to be on TV, give us a call. Here at TPN, our motto is, real dreams do come true. So give us a call so that we can help your dreams come true. Tamara's Production Network has the lowest prices in town. As a matter of fact, we have the best prices in town. Tamara's Productions Network is not one of those networks that will try to take advantage of you. We do believe in making dreams come true. So if you have a show idea, give us a call and let us help you make your dreams come true here at Tamara's Productions Network. Churches, if you need a home for your church and you want to get the word of God out, come here to Tamara's Productions Network. We will work with you on the prices. Real Talk with Tamara is geared towards helping the community. Real Talk with Tamara will talk about crime in the community, life situations. We will talk about being healthier. We will even bring people on and give them makeovers to help them to raise their self-esteem. This show is really an awareness show, and we look forward to giving the community exactly what they've been looking for. Again, if you have a business, lawn care, barbershop, daycare, politicians, it's election time. If you have any kind of business and you want to get it out there in the community, we have a package just for you. Again, we're really excited about helping you to bring exposure to your business, your ministry, or your political campaign here on Tamara's Productions Network. Make sure you tune in again Monday to Real Talk with Tamara. Until next time, God bless. Real Talk with me, Tamara, have more days and new times. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and again on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You don't want to miss this show. We will be talking about the community, politics, crime, education, and everything else of concern to the community. So tune in to Real Talk with Tamara on TPN, Tamara's Production Network.